everyone, and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Coco is here with Smooth and Smog, and we are continuing Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations.
Submit to the mind hive mind. Everything you know is a lie. Submit to our following.
What was that? I was just listening.
It's the
I
hive
don't know. I
mind.
just heard
was so
Coco trying to
confused.
I heard Coco trying to cover me up with her voice of like buzzing.
No,
Yeah, I
I,
heard
I,
that too. I thought that was like
I was joining in. Hive mind.
choreographed. Yeah, I was like, man, y'all played that out. That's pretty legit.
She's doing subconscious tapping to the brain.
Oh my gosh. Okay, alright, here we go.
Submit your bottoms to us.
Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
That movie thing would suit both like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't. Do you think I forget something as dirty as that? Well, you're half-witted clot. What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means, if you had really seen this apron before, yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front.
Oops.
Because he was checking out that ass.
Dang. Are they playing quartered music yet?
Yep.
I knew it, yes. Witness! You can't just oops your way out of this.
Ha! Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant.
That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird?
Exactly. And when the one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching.
I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing.
Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted.
He can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he is blocking it out.
Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim.
He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the avocado. Little Fidget picked up the cup with its free hand and took a sip.
The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail.
Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything.
How are we gonna handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel?
I suppose, but it's what I do best.
He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles.
Spectacles? Oh, come on, Phoenix, you know what those are.
Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well.
He did have some kind of lens over his left eye. But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses. He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance.
We better come up with something sharp and quick.
Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles.
He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages.
The newspaper was a sports paper, was it?
That young hooligan! I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting? How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that wrestling going on? I needed to find out if Guts and Braun retained his championship title.
You know, I didn't mention this before, but I really like, what is it? The pun in Guts and Brawl. I get that one, I get that. It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you just buy your own? Ow, ow!
Guts and Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway.
I love his face when he got pelted by the sea.
I know.
The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well.
The wireless?
The decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless.
Oh boy.
And using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it.
Was he that desperate to listen to the radio?
What are you looking at me like that for? How dare you feel sorry for me?
Ow! Ow!
Then the serving girl in question brought over the cappuccino.
You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right?
You're one of those, aren't you? You never let anything go, isn't that right?
Maybe.
What does it matter if I saw her from the front or from the behind? My eyes don't fail me.
Ow! Ow! I better not push it until I've got some hard evidence.
I swear, I really felt like Phoenix would have said something after maybe, maybe, bitch.
Oh,
He thought it. He definitely thought
Yeah,
it.
he did. Yeah.
The little fidget picked up the cup with its free hand and took a sip.
His free hand?
Yes.
And which hand was that?
Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was wrestling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If its free hand wasn't his...
Ow! Ow!
Ha! Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands.
Yeesh. I was only asking. Wanted to gang up on me and treat me like I'm a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss.
What the fuck was that face just a second ago?
Don't ask me, dude.
Did he just eat some of those seeds?
Yeah, I think they're bird seeds. I don't know why he's eating them. Not even sunflower seeds. I don't know.
I guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh?
Anything will do. Even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. You know, Coco's the Ace Attorney Queen, you know. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory.
I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I tell you, nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Care to tell us where this is going, Trite?
According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left.
What is this, kindergarten?
But I would like the court to please take a look at this. Oh, I see already. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim, you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips.
Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee.
If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
But how?
Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think.
Wait! If you think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw.
You still insist on your testimony.
That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that said young hotbot and you spiky-head yahoo who are at fault.
Who, me?
Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already.
Don't call me old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say!
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but...
Sure. Why not hear a little more?
Mr. Kudo!
But this is my 16th cup of coffee.
Jesus.
So this is your final stand, and very well possibly mine.
For real. Defibrillator.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor.
Yo, how many testimonies? For real.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same
And it's still the slower witness music, so which means we've got more coming.
Oh my gosh.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand.
We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, it was a scouter like in TBC.
It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers to be able to detect the levels of other life forms, as you will.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
HDTV, DVD, CD. All these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts in good old black and white.
I can't help but think that whenever they say like cross-examination or other stuff, I just hear it in like the announcer voice from Super Smash.
Oh yeah.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
So the victim was wearing an HMD?
HGTV, CD, TVT, what does it matter?
It was none of them actually, but anyway. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side?
No question, I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head.
He kept fiddling with it all the time.
It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenn Elg.
He was getting on my nerves. Rustling that newspaper and fiddling with all his earpiece all the time. And then he went and made all that fuss dying from one sip of my avocado. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked.
So I take it the victim was a walking ball of nervous energy.
He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup too.
The earpiece you mentioned. Which hand did the victim touch it with?
You're one of those people. One of those people who uses his left hand to get things out of his right pocket. Or fastens his left cup with his right hand. And when the tour guide says, on your right side you'll see the famous blah blah, you're the only one who deliberately looks to left, well, aren't you?
No, I didn't mean...
Obviously he used the hand on the same side of his body that the earpiece was in.
Ow, ow! So if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess.
And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand.
You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo.
That's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you tried to play on me.
It looks like he really did see the guy picking up the cup with his left hand. This is a dead end.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
I think the guy's telling the truth. But even so, something's not quite right.
Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks. Break him!
Jesus. But if he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradictions in his testimony, right? I mean, there would be if he was just mistaken, right? I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim.
What?
You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD.
No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
I don't think so.
What did you say?
You are no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured.
Eh?
Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear.
Is that true, Captain?
It is.
Pigeon! Pretty pigeon!
Are you okay?
Yo. I take it you weren't expecting that, huh? Order, order, order! This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot?
A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk.
Captain, are you calling me a drip?
This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand.
Unless he's a heathen like me and just picks it up with his left hand, not using the handle at all.
I don't use the handle. I mean, I use what I don't know.
I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his avocado with his left hand.
Sorry, he's walking around. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim
Dang.
used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and then switched to his left hand. That's what the old man saw.
Impossible! The witness has already testified on numerous occasions.
Oh, that's true.
That the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee.
Which hand the victim used to pick up his coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee. Like this!
I know. I was waiting for you to do that. Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash.
Neither does coffee.
The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory was credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless.
Hey, that was pretty good. I give you props on that one.
Arigato.
I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce.
Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey!
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from here.
And then also
From
one
there.
C just shoots and knocks him right in between the eyes.
Dang. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned.
Wait! Until the next episode.
Because we will end it
Wow,
right here.
really?
Thank
Can't
you.
believe you.
Thank you guys for
Unreal.
joining us. And see you next time.
So yes, welcome everyone again to 4 Pixels. This is Skima and I'm back here with my sis. Remember how to...
Hello.
And we're gonna play Perception. This game that Coco gave me because she's a coward that can't play it herself. So I'll be stuck playing it. So yeah, I tested it for like a minute yesterday. It looked interesting. So yes, let's jump into it. Let's play with Chatty Casey and Spooky. That's
Spooky,
what
spooky, spooky.
Spooky. That's what you all people are here for. So
Hola, Pablo.
buena, Pablo. I have no idea how this game sounds. What do you mean, true events?
When you're blind, you learn a thing or two about trust. You learn who to trust.
Creepy Cassie, never gonna find out. Cassie can't see.
You
Wow.
learn
Oh
what
my
to
god, that's so
trust.
mean.
Focus, Cassie. What's this sound?
A fan.
Good. Now, what's in front of the fan?
I don't know.
Cassie, sounds are how we see. Listen. Tap your cane.
It's a coffee mug.
Right. Excellent. Though you are
That's a
without
super
sight,
cane.
it does not mean you cannot see.
And most importantly, you learn to trust yourself. Even if that means hopping on the first flight to Boston to find the mansion from your nightmares.